Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Have a great show lined up, special guest here. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. High today is still going to be hitting 90s, and it's just still hot. Now, I know you get tired of me saying it every morning, but it's still hot. And a lot of folks doing outside work, I know they're having a tough time. Low tonight, 76. Sunrise this morning is at 6:23, and sunset's going to be at 6:53 tonight. Water temperature is 85 degrees. Take a look at our river readings over here. It looks pretty good on Apalachicola. It should be a great weekend. It's gone down to right at 3 foot reading today, and just not much movement at all. It'll be an excellent time to be on the river this weekend. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, it's going to be a rapid drop. It's dropping down to, well, right now it's reading 5.2, and by Saturday morning it's going to be down 1. It's got about a 4 foot drop, it looks like, which is a fast drop for the Choctawhatchee River. Our marine forecast, well, let's look at our tides first. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Again, we're in the neap tides today, September the 11th, and we don't have much going on as far as tidal movement, but the weekend it's going to kick back in really good. So low tide was at 7:17 and high is 11:31. And the marine forecast will be south-southeast at 5 to 10. All right, that takes care of our weather. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks, and welcome Lieutenant Stan Kirkland.
Good morning. Good morning, Winston. Good to see you.
Always great to have Stan on the show, and we got all kinds of things coming up now. We're trying to get the summer over with first.
The whole gamut of stuff is coming up, so, yep.
Do we think summer ever going to end?
Well, I tell you, most people are looking forward to a little cool weather. Last year when we had that ice and the cold weather, you know, people couldn't wait until it got hot, and now people are looking forward to the little bit of cooler weather. I know I am.
That's human nature at its finest.
Yes,
that's the way we all are.
Yep.
So what's going on your way?
Well, Winston, we're still in the middle of our alligator hunting season. I think your granddaughter, if I'm not mistaken, didn't she kill a nice alligator the other day on a hunt?
Yeah, they're going to have that video pretty soon, yeah.
Okay, you don't want to talk about it too much?
No, it's fine. It was like a 6 or 7 footer. They were tickled with it.
And I saw a picture of your son-in-law, and he was about this deep in alligator meat.
Yeah.
He was at the sink, looked like trying to clean this alligator.
They're really good about cleaning whatever they take out of the woods or water. They're good about cleaning it and eating it. So
right. And alligator meat's good to eat. I don't know. Have you had any yet from that?
It's good and chewy. It's real.
It is. But you have to get rid of all of the tendons in it, and it depends which cut it is. You have to get rid of course, it's like any other kind of game. You have to get rid of the fat and all that. But it's very good hot. The longer it sits after it's fried, the chewier it gets.
Good
so it does get a little chewy after it sits a while. But I actually had an opportunity to watch one of our trappers once process an alligator for market, and that was the most fascinating thing. He literally, after he got in this big alligator, he has him on a stainless steel tray, and of course, you know, he's not only processing the alligator for the hide, but he's processing the meat.
Yeah.
And of course, this particular guy sold the skulls too. He would sell, so he used everything that came from alligator. But the most fascinating thing was, the first thing he did was fix up a bucket with some detergent and a little bit of a Clorox and a scrub brush. And I said, what are you fixing to do? I thought he was going to clean the stainless steel tray, and it was spotless. He said, I'm going to clean the alligator. And I said, what? And he said, well, if I don't, he said, what we have to do is when we get through skinning him, he said the bacteria that's on the outside of the hide will permeate the hide as it sits, even though it's rolled and even though it's in cold storage. He said it will permeate the hide and ruin the hide. So I have to get rid of that. So he literally took a scrub brush and cleaned. This was a 7 or 8 footer. It wasn't a little alligator. This thing's that big around. He had to clean the alligator, the whole thing. He washed him head to toe, belly and on top, and then after he did all that, he had to rinse him and all of that, and then he could begin the process to skin him. So it was pretty interesting watching all that. They sell the meat though for people. If anybody's interested, you can buy it in 5-pound boxes. You can't, for instance, a person that kills one can't sell a pound to somebody or 2 pounds, but they could sell it, or a processor that's could sell it in 5-pound boxes.
Yeah, that's a licensed processor, right?
That's a licensed processor. Could. That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep. And this season's been going on that your granddaughter participated in since 1987.
That's hard to believe it's been going on that long.
Yep. In fact, we were actually, our agency, we were threatened with a lawsuit when we initially allowed alligator hunting. There was a organization, and it's a conservation organization without naming them. They threatened to sue the agency to stop it because they said that what we were going to do was decimate the alligator population and that we didn't have enough and all this other stuff. So we were able to prove, though, on paper that, we could sustain some harvest. It's a very narrow window of time, as you well know, from August 15 now till the end of October. And, we just take a drop in the bucket of the population. And as Walter, your son-in-law, will tell you, once you mess with them, and if you don't kill that alligator, and you educate him very quickly, and they're much more difficult to hunt.
That's right.
And they're like any other.
You look at all the fun people have had since 1987, the enjoyment of families, and have had, in harvesting gators. It's been great.
And we issue roughly 6,000 permits, and that's a lot of permits.
Yeah.
We're second to Louisiana. As I've said before on here with you, we're second to Louisiana in harvest, and of course all the permits are issued for this year, but if there's somebody interested, you can certainly go to our website, research it, you can give us a call. It's $272. We're more than a little than some states, but people snatch up these permits, and we have just a tremendous amount of interest.
And some people shoot them with a bow and arrow, and then just
others gig them, and then we have some that try to take them with a rod and reel with a hook.
Yeah.
But you can't shoot them with a firearm. Unlike the popular TV program from Louisiana where they allow people to do that, we do not allow that here in Florida. And the reason is because most of our waters are typically deeper, and if you kill an alligator like that, they go to the bottom. If you can't, get to them real quickly, they go to the bottom, and you lose the alligator, and it's a wasted resource. So that's why we don't allow people to shoot them. You can use a bang stick. Once you get it up to the boat, you can use a bang stick on top of the skull.
Yeah.
But that's and Winston, on that subject, we've had 2 incidents where people have been bitten recently in Central Florida, South Florida. I bring this up only to say it, and this is something that I took out of the clips that came through just a few days ago. One point I want to make is, and one of these guys was swimming at night. And it's just not, it's never a good idea to swim at night where there are alligators. It's just common sense, but, I just say that as a precaution,
I would hope most people know better than that.
You would think.
Yeah, I would think.
You would think.
But what about the other on the other one?
The other one was a boy who was 9 years old who was swimming down near St. Cloud. He went into... it's a youngster. What can I say? You and I probably at that age, we had a place we went with our friends and went swimming, but he went in an unapproved, it wasn't a designated swimming area, but it was a place, there are a lot of alligators in this particular lake, and alligator came up and bit him in the back, but the alligator didn't, just bit him and turned him loose. So that was good.
Okay.
So anyway.
All right, let's take a quick break. Come back more with Stan. All right, welcome back. Here with Stan Kirkland and all. We got all kind of stuff going on, so let's move along. We got a lot of stuff.
Winston, I wanted to mention something that was just approved in the last 2 weeks, and I didn't know if you'd had a chance to talk about it on the air, but let me mention it. That is, the early migratory seasons are posted and approved. We're opening the dove season. Our dove season is opening earlier this year than it has in some time. It'll actually open on the 27th, and we're going to a 90-day season. We've had a 70-day dove season, but we're going to a 90-day season, and that's a 15-bird bag limit. So I know there's a place that I'm not invited, but I've been watching that's got a lot of doves. But I've been watching them on the power lines, and it's been pretty neat to watch the birds. There's a lot of birds in our area, but
you're on the wrong side of the fence.
I'm on the wrong side of the fence. That's a good way to put it. I'm on the outside looking in. That's the way. But dove season opens on the 27th. Also, another good thing for hunters is we're having an expanded teal season in Florida. We're still having the 5-day early wood duck and teal season. It begins September the 20th and runs through the 24th. Now that's a 6-bird bag. You can kill 2 wood ducks and 4 teal, either blue or green wing teal. But then we've got 4 additional days of teal season that are added onto that have been approved. So U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has put their stamp of approval on it.
I saw those dates when it came out. I wonder if that was a misprint, but because it hadn't been like that.
No,
so
it hasn't.
An additional time.
No, we've got 4 additional days, and those last 4 days, which is the 25th through the 28th, those last 4 are teal only. But hey, that's a good deal. And if you like to duck hunt, and believe it or not, we got a lot of duck hunters in the area. I know I fish some over here around Tyndall Air Force Base, and I see teal early in the morning. In the fall, I see them at Lake Seminole, Washington County, Jackson County. This area generally, even Franklin County, Gulf County, we got a lot of teal that come through and come into this area. So that's a good thing.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's good stuff. Winston, one thing I wanted to mention is the commission meeting is going on. It was yesterday, and will go on again today. And one of the things on the agenda at the commission meeting that hunters may have an interest, or people in general may have an interest in, is the use of suppressors, or some people call them silencers. And the question a lot of people have is why is this even an issue before the commission? There are 32 states that allow people to use a noise suppressor, and what it is a suppressor does not eliminate the report or the sound or the gas. What you hear is that gas expanding from a shotgun shell or a rifle cartridge being fired. That's what you hear. But what it does is it reduces that to more of a manageable level. 32 states already allow the use of suppressors for hunting. You can buy a suppressor right now in Florida if you go through a background check. You have to apply through, you can go to some of your Class 3 firearm dealers. They have to go through the process with ATF. It's a $200 fee. It takes 5-6 months. I mean, it's an exhaustive background thing. You can use these right now in shotguns in certain areas in Florida, for instance, for turkey hunting if you wanted to, but this will expand that. So if somebody wanted to, say, use them on a centerfire rifle for deer hunting, if the commission approves this, again, I have to add that, if the commission approves this, it would allow that.
That's interesting. So if they approve it, that's going to be a very popular thing, you think, coming
I don't know that it will be popular. It's too much of a hassle for most people, but it is on the radar. A lot of people are hearing about it, and we've heard a lot of people are scared to death of the idea. They have this hideous concept of silencers, like they've seen too many movies. I think
Hollywood.
Hollywood, and they're not like that. Purdue University did a study and they compared a gun using very sophisticated equipment, how many decibels it creates with a silencer and without a silencer, and then with a silencer, and you can see that it's 30%, maybe 40% reduction in sound, but you still need to wear ear protectors to, you know, and all. But anyway, it's pretty interesting, the studies that have been done, and we've heard from a lot of people.
That is interesting. That's something new.
And they could hunt. One advantage is, and I'll say this, you could hunt, for instance, if you had property that was next to an urban area and it was not in a municipality, not in a town, if it was, you know, where people might be alarmed about a centerfire rifle going off, you know, several hundred yards away, they probably wouldn't be concerned if there was a person using a suppressor. So that's one application for it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, did you want to look at this bear picture real quick?
Yeah, if you've got that.
Well, we got it up here. I've got it on email. Then I'm gonna just slide down. I'm gonna read the email to you.
Sure.
Greg Taylor, here's the email. Said, "Hey, Coach, in fact, it's up on the screen. Here is a pretty bear photo. Note the garbage can lid on the ground. He has shaken the pole so hard he has knocked the lid off the feeder. Next time, I guess he'll just learn to use a handle. So let me get this picture here. Jeff, can you show it like that? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Look underneath. There's a garbage can lid that he's knocked on the ground there, and so he's shaking the pole. So that's amazing what they've learned how to do in it.
Yeah, it doesn't take them long, and of course, Greg's doing everything we've asked people to do. The only thing I would say to do different is your winch. It looks like the bear's almost to the point where he can grab the winch and lower the feeder down and eat out of it.
You think you do that?
No, I don't, but I'm joking saying that. But the only thing he might do differently is put his winch a little higher. We recommend people, because what they'll literally do, not only will they grab the pole sometime, and Greg's doing exactly what we've asked people to do that use feeders, and that is to use a pole with a L-shaped apparatus, L-shape to it, put your feeder out on the end of that L-shape, but your winch needs to be where the bear can't get it. And then, of course, you need to take a step ladder in and, you know, leave a step ladder somewhere. Of course, you know, I heard from somebody said a bear chewed up my step ladder. So, you know, we can't solve all the problems. But anyway, he's doing exactly what we've asked people to do. I've heard others where literally people have been in these condos, these shooting boxes, and the bear comes up and starts rubbing his back and shaking the condo. And that they say that's a little unnerving. I haven't had that to happen to me. But
all right, anyway. Let's take a final break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're watching the show this morning. Let's look at our fish and game forecast first, brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty. Our time today will be this morning at 2:34 to 4:34, and this afternoon at 3:01 to 5:01. Check out those times and try to take advantage of them if you can. All right, what else you got, Stan?
Real quickly, Winston, let me mention just a couple of things. For those people, and I know this has been all about hunting and not, I know you got a lot of people that like to saltwater fish, but for those people that like to deer hunt, remember we're under a new set of rules this year when it comes to what's legal to take. This is for deer, particularly for bucks. They've got to have, at least south of the interstate, they've got to have 2 points on a side. North of the interstate, it's 3 points. So remember that, or either they've got to have a 10-inch main beam, one or the other. They can substitute it, but if it's got a long beam, and you know, that would be a legal deer if it's longer than 10 inches on one side. So remember that. Also, we've changed the antless deer days in response to the request for people wanting some increased opportunities north of the interstate. We have 8 antless deer days. They're lined out in the regs. You can get a copy of them, or you can download them if you go to myfwc.com. Also, south of the interstate, we have four antless deer days. Okay. So that's coming up this season. Another thing I want to mention is every year, about this time of year, we start hearing about people that are injured in tree stand accident. A couple things. If you have an old stand that's been up, even if it's just from last hunting season, and it's even a wooden stand or a metal stand. You need to carefully check those. One of our officers, his father fell from a tree stand that had been up several years ago and was really injured and spent quite a while and he had to go through surgery and a recovery process. So that kind of hit close to home with us, but and this family. But just be very careful around these tree stands. If you use an elevated stand, wear a safety harness. There's some they're sold. The manufacturers have these available. They're in local stores. I know C&G sells them. Some of your other stores, your Bass Pros of the world, they sell them as well. But get a safety harness and wear that safety harness, because that'll keep you from critical injuries. Yeah. So anyway, those we really recommend them. And Winston, the last thing I was going to mention, and I'll let you hold that up to you're more experienced on where that needs to go. One is we've got a brochure that we make available to people on about coyotes or coats, and in fact Beverly Batts and Gary Cooper provided us a photo recently of a coyote that was photographed here in town. It wasn't this one, but coats or coyotes, they are now, we're finding them more and more in urban areas. They will prey on anything small, but they will also prey on cats, house cats. So if you live in an area, you have you have an outdoors cat. If there's any woods around, if you don't live in really the center of an urban area, you really need to be careful about leaving your cats out, because we've got a video that's just been provided to us in Bradenton, Florida, of a coyote actually killed two house cats over a period of days, and it's a pretty graphic video.
Yeah. That's just something we all need to be aware of. We talked about
it. Yeah, and you know, I got a neighbor that told me recently we ought to get rid of them. Well, that's laughable. You're not going to get rid of them. Yeah. They're here to stay.
Okay. Well, Stan, as always, thank you so much. Good information.
Winston, good to see you.
Great to have Stan Kirkland, folks. If you have a question, always call Stan at the FWC office. He'll be glad to help you if you can find the answer. And as always, thank you for watching Panhandle Outdoors. You do something good for someone else today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.